Have you ever stopped to think about how the improbable can turn the game around? Amidst the whirlwind of trades that shook the NBA, the Celtics, without even making much noise, pulled off a plot twist worthy of a suspense movie. And then the unexpected happened. While the sports world was buzzing over the blockbuster trade involving Luka Doncic and the Lakers, the Celtics made a masterstroke that at first seemed risky, but is now proving to be pure genius. Behind the scenes, Brad Stevens was orchestrating a bold move that left many stunned. The operation, which involved sending Marcus Smart, Danilo Gallinari, and Mike Muscala, along with draft picks, in exchange for Kristaps Porzingis, painted a picture of uncertainty and risk. But did the critics see the brilliance behind the apparent chaos? What no one expected was that, despite physical limitations and rumors of missed games, Porzingis could be the ace up the Celtics' sleeve to shift the tide, while the Mavericks were moving chess pieces in a trade that shook the league, giving up a generational talent in exchange for a win-now bet. The Celtics were quietly securing their future. The cleverness behind this move reveals a long-term strategy where every decision, no matter how controversial, bore the mark of a strategic mastermind. But was the coaching staff and front office really willing to take this gamble? And how long will it take for this bet to pay off? Celtics, luck, or lack of planning? Who hasn't wondered whether the trade the Celtics pulled off was an act of pure genius or simply a stroke of luck? Amid heated debates, some argue that Brad Stevens and the front office are actually masking a flawed strategic plan by gambling on Porzingis. After all, choosing a player known for injuries and inconsistency in a league where every decision can shape the future of a historic franchise seems more like a shot in the dark than a meticulously calculated move. But was this bold maneuver a risky success, or just a reflection of a management team driven by short-term impulses, sacrificing the Celtics' consistency and identity? In a league where fan trust and team tradition hold immense value, trading an emblematic figure like Marcus Smart, a symbol of grit and dedication, for an uncertain gamble can be seen by many as a blatant disregard for the Celtics' core values. This controversial decision, which defied conventional logic, not only highlights the immense pressure for immediate results, but also suggests a front office willing to take extreme risks to impress the media and silence critics. Has the Celtics' leadership forgotten that in a sport where stability and long-term planning are crucial, diving headfirst into a high-risk investment could have serious consequences down the line? Digging deeper into the analysis, it's impossible to ignore the emotional impact this trade has had on fans. Celtic supporters have always believed in a project that prioritized cohesion and respect for the team's history, and now they find themselves facing a decision that many see as borderline insanity: trading Marcus Smart, a player who not only embodied relentless defense, but also served as the heart and soul of the team. For an athlete with a history of injuries and uncertainties, creates discomfort that goes far beyond statistics and numbers. In the rush to innovate and chase instant success, has the front office overlooked the fact that a team's essence is built on trust and tradition? This bold move, which seems to defy even the logic of sports strategy, exposes a controversial side of the Celtics' management. By opting for a high-risk gamble, the front office may be signaling a shift in mentality, one that prioritizes spectacle and immediacy over the careful construction of a solid and cohesive roster. Many analysts are questioning whether this is, in reality, a desperate attempt to escape the pressure of recent results. After all, in a league where every trade is meticulously scrutinized and details make all the difference, betting on a player with a turbulent history feels more like rolling the dice than executing a well-grounded strategy. Furthermore, this decision raises important concerns about the transparency and long-term vision of the Celtics' leadership. While gambling on luck can sometimes lead to surprising successes, relying on chance as a strategic pillar is a risk that few franchises can afford without consequences. The Porzingis trade, although praised by some as a revolutionary move, can also be interpreted as a sign that the Celtics' management is willing to sacrifice the stability and trust built over the years for the sake of a radical shift. Are the Celtics paying too steep a price for a move that, on paper, looks more like a lucky break than a masterfully planned maneuver? Do you believe this risky bet is the result of flawed planning, or is it simply the boldness needed to keep the Celtics at the top? The emotional toll on fans and the cost of innovation. Another controversial perspective echoing through the halls of TD Garden is that this move does not represent a genuine strategic advance, but rather a desperate attempt to reinvent a team that has always stood out for its unwavering identity. Trading icons like Marcus Smart and Danilo Gallinari, figures who embodied the grit, dedication, and history of the Celtics, can be seen as a direct affront to the emotions of the fan base. After all, how can supporters accept that the essence of a century-old club is being sacrificed in the name of innovation that, in practice, may not deliver the promised results? This decision, bordering on excessive boldness, might be more aligned with a short-term marketing strategy than with a solid, well-founded plan. By opting for a drastic roster overhaul, the Celtics management seems to be ignoring not only the sentimental value of these players, but also the deep historical connection they established with the fan base. This move, which many view as a gut punch to the soul of the team, raises questions about the Celtics' true mission, honoring their tradition while adapting to the future. Has the front office forgotten that for fans, every jersey, every play, and every victory carries an emotional weight far beyond statistics? Replacing players who became symbols of the fan base's pride with new names whose stories are yet to be written brings up a crucial question. Should innovation always be accompanied by respect for a team's legacy and history? What no one expected was that, in their attempt to modernize the team at all costs, the Celtics management may have underestimated the emotional toll this restructuring would take on the fan base. For many supporters, this abrupt change is not just a tactical shift, but a rupture with an identity built over decades. The emotional investment in every play, the sense of belonging, and the trust placed in proven players have all been put at risk, creating a landscape of uncertainty and frustration. In their eagerness to impress the media and silence critics, has the front office realized that the price they might pay is the loyalty of their most devoted fans? For many, this radical transformation looks like a modernization effort that, ironically, devalues the most cherished aspects of the Celtics' history. The attempt to usher in a new era by replacing established figures with uncertain bets could not only destabilize the team internally, but also shake the trust that has always held the franchise together. Instead of reinforcing the traditions and identity that have defined the Celtics, this risky move might turn what was once an emotional legacy into a volatile unknown, where innovation seems more like a shot in the dark than a well-crafted strategy. Furthermore, one could argue that this decision reflects a sense of desperation in the face of mounting pressure for immediate results. The expectation that a full-scale revamp will bring instant success might be both unrealistic and dangerous. In a sport where balancing tradition and innovation is key, taking such massive risks without the assurance of a solid plan could have serious consequences. Are the Celtics truly prepared to deal with the emotional fallout of parting ways with icons who helped write the franchise's history? And how much will this so-called modernization really add to the team? Or will it merely create a void in identity, alienating those who have long upheld the Celtics' legacy? The high cost of risk, strategy, or poorly calculated impulse? A third discussion, one that will undoubtedly stir up controversy behind the scenes and raise eyebrows among the most critical analysts, is whether this Celtics move is more of an impulsive gamble than a well-thought-out strategy. Amid the unbearable pressure for quick results and the relentless pursuit of shocking moves to shake up the status quo, the Celtics seem to have been swept up in a fever of transformation. This relentless innovation, hidden behind the flashy headlines, carries an enormous and possibly miscalculated risk. Could the trade for Porzingis be more than just a bold move to grab attention? Perhaps a clear reflection of a front office desperate for quick fixes, even if those decisions come at an unreasonably high cost in the future. By prioritizing an immediate roster overhaul, the Celtics management seems to be playing with fire. This maneuver, which defies expectations and even conventional basketball logic, reveals a front office that appears more focused on surprising the media and generating buzz on social media than on building a solid future for the team. Betting on a player with questionable durability, one whose history is plagued with injuries and inconsistencies, rather than investing in the steady development of already proven talent, could be the very catalyst for instability, spreading uncertainty throughout the organization, eroding fan confidence, and disrupting internal harmony. It's impossible to ignore the nervous energy among fans and experts. Does this impulsive decision truly put the Celtics on the path to glory, or is it merely masking a lack of solid strategic planning? The reality is that while the front office takes risky leaps, crucial aspects of sports management seem to have been pushed aside. This move, which many see as a desperate attempt to reinvent a team long defined by tradition and stability, could be a dangerous step into the unknown. What makes this gamble even more controversial is the clear disconnect between the need for innovation and the respect for the core principles that made the Celtics a powerhouse in basketball. Replacing players who embody the team's soul and history with figures whose true value is still uncertain raises serious concerns. Does this abrupt shift ultimately expose the front office's inability to recognize and appreciate the importance of internal development? Instead of fostering a strong foundation with emerging talent, management chose to go all in on a move that seems more like a marketing stunt than a carefully crafted long-term strategy. In our opinion, this move is at best questionable. The Celtics have always been synonymous with tradition and resilience, and abandoning that legacy for the sake of rapid innovation could have disastrous consequences. This is a situation where boldness borders on desperation, and the pursuit of immediate results overshadows the long-term vision that should guide any great sports organization. If this decision isn't backed by a solid strategic plan and a genuine commitment to player development, we may witness a once glorious team unravel under the weight of rash choices. Moreover, this high-risk bet could trigger a negative ripple effect, impacting not just on court performance but also team morale and fan confidence. By prioritizing media shock value, the front office may be creating an environment of uncertainty and instability where every new decision raises more doubts than answers. Are the Celtics truly prepared to pay the steep price of a poorly calculated risk, sacrificing the stability and legacy of a franchise that has always stood out for its consistency and identity?